Good morning, students. Good morning to all. And last day we have studied about the oligopoly and the duopoly. And that fifth lesson also has completed. So today we will go to the next chapter, distribution analysis. Chapter 6, distribution analysis. We have studied already that distributions is very much important. To whom we have to distribute and what we have to distribute means. For the facts of productions, we have to distribute the remunerations in their prescribed forms. The facts of productions, that is land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurs or organizations. So these four factors are involved in these productions. Already we have studied it. So without these four factor of productions, we can't anything produce. We can't produce anything. So this theory of functional distribution deals with how the relative prices of these factor of productions are determined. So when we are involving these four factor of productions, these four factor of productions must be get their remunerations in the form of their prescribed things. But how the price for the factor of production is going to determine is explained by the distribution analysis. So this theory also called as a functional distributions. On the basis of the function of factor of productions only, the prices of factor of productions will be determined. The theory of factor prices is popularly known as the theory of distributions, because on the basis of distribution of production or the profit of the productions is going to distributed among the factor of productions. The interesting aspect here is in the fact that large number of ideas has emerged and various factors have been identified by the economists contributing to the development of economic science. So the distribution means the division of income among the four factors of production in terms of rent to landlords, wage to labor, and interest to capital, and profit to entrepreneurs. So we have to, or the producers have to arrange the factor of production in the purpose of producing any of the commodities. So in this way, the land will get the form of rent. Land will get their remunerations in the form of rent. So like that, the labor will get their remunerations in the form of wages. And capitals, we have to arrange more capital or investment. So the capital also will get in the form of interest, because if you are making the capital, so if the producers want to arranging the capital from any of the financial institutions, the financial institutions also will be fixing some of the rate of interest. The rate of interest also has to be paid by the producers from the production functions. So the capital also will get in the form of interest. Next, the profit are the entrepreneurs or the organizations. If any of the organization is undertaken by the entrepreneurs, these organizations must be get their remunerations in the form of profit. Without profit, the organizations will never continue. So the distributions mean the division of income among the four factor of productions in terms of their prescribed forms. So the landlord will get rent, and the labor will get wage, and the capital will get interest, and the organization or entrepreneurs will get the profit. So next, the kinds of distributions. How many types of distributions are there in this analysis? Mean two types of distributions are there. First one is personal distributions and functional distribution. The personal distribution is the distribution of national income among the individuals. Now all the individual peoples only is considered as a factors are labor. So even if you are considering the labor or the entrepreneur or if the financial institutors or the organizers, so all the individual persons will come into the four factor of productions. So how all the individual peoples will get their remunerations means we will get some of the distributions from the national income. So in any one of the farm, so all the individual peoples or all the peoples in any of the nations will get some of the benefit from the government. So we can consider it as the personal distribution of national income. That's called the personal distributions. The individual persons are getting some of the profit or some of the remunerations from the government from the national income is considered as a personal distributions. Next, functional distributions. The functional distribution means the distribution of income among the four factors of productions: land, labor, capital, and organizations for their services in production process. So when the producers are going to arrange the factor of productions, he will pay to the remunerations in the form of their four factor of productions. Okay, so on the basis of the function of four factor of productions, it will get some of the remunerations. The producers will be distribute the prices for the factor of production is called as a functional distributions. On the basis of their or according to the functions of the factor of productions, if they are getting the remunerations or profit or any of the benefit, it is called functional distributions. Next, some of the theories are there in which basis the factor of production is getting the remunerations is explained by the different type of the theories. So among these theories, first one of the theory is marginal productivity theory. Marginal productivity theory of distributions. So according to this theory, all the factor of productions will get their remunerations in the form of their productivity. The marginal productivity theory of distribution was developed by Clark, Wicksteed, and Walters. The three economists only developed the theory, marginal productivity theory. This theory explains how the prices of various factors of productions are determined. This theory explains how the prices of various factors of productions are determined. The various factors of production means the four factors of productions are there. These four factors of productions, which basis this four factor of production is getting their remunerations is explained by the marginal productivity theory. This theory explains how rent, wages, interest, and profit are determined. This theory is also known as general theory of distribution or national dividend theory of distributions. Why we are calling the general theory of distributions means, so according to this theory only, all the factor of productions will get their remunerations. That is the productivity. So if you are considering the four factors, the labor also will have power to produce some of the product, and land also will have more fertility to producing some of the productions. Next, capital. Without having the capital, we can't produce any of the commodities because we have to purchase many raw materials and we have to pay many income, and the organizations also will get the profit. So if any of the good organizations, if any of the good managerial organizations are there, it will earning more profit. So every factor of productions, the four factor of productions also will have some of the power or the productivity. So on the basis of the productivity only, the four factor of production will going to get their remunerations. This is the common or the general things. So this theory is also considered as a general theory of distribution, so the national dividend theory of distribution. Next, assumptions. Before we are going to explaining or before understanding about this theory, we must consider some of the assumptions, the following assumptions. So first one of the assumption is all the factor of productions are homogeneous. So all the factor of productions are homogeneous means the four factor of productions will be the same. Otherwise, if you are considering any one of the factors, the labor, if you are considering the labor, all the labor also will have the same productivity powers. All these factor of productions are homogeneous. Next, factors of production can be substituted for each other. So if when all the factor of productions are homogeneous, so we can easily substitute it for one which another. If you are considering the two labors are there, the productivity power of the two labors also will be the same means what we will doing, so we can substitute the one man for another man. Otherwise, if you are considering the four factor of productions, the power of four factor of productions mean the labor and the capital. So the machinery is also one of the capital. So instead of capital, we can arrange the labor, because the productivity of the labor and the capital always will be the same. Next, there is perfect competitions both in the factor market and the production market. The perfect competitions means, so the availability of the factor of productions will be very easy. So in this product factor market also we will get the factor of productions, and the product market also we will consume as a perfect competitions. Next, there is perfect mobility of factor of production. There is perfect mobility of factor of productions mean, so on the basis of the remunerations or on the basis of the productivity, one factor of production can easily mobiling from one firm to another one of the firm. But even if the factor of production going to any of the firm, they will get their remunerations on the basis of the productivity power only. Next, there is full employment of factors. So all the factors also will have as a employed. So when they have fully employed, so all the factor of production is going to apply to produce any of the commodity by the firms. Next, this theory is applicable only in the long run, because only in the long run only we can change or we can apply the four factor of productions so as to do their full ability. Next, the entrepreneurs aims at profit maximizations. So when they are arranging the four factor of productions, he will have one of the objective of earning more profit or the maximization profit. Maximization profit mean, so he want to get more profit than their cost of productions. Next, there is no government intervention in fixing the price of a factor. So when they are arranging the factor of production, there is no government intervention to fixing the price for the factor of productions. So the price for the factor of productions may be determined on the basis of the demand for the factor of production. Otherwise, the productivity power, the sources are the power to ability to produce. So that is called productivity. So on the basis of the productivity only, so producers or the entrepreneur will fixing the price for that factor of production. So in this fixation of the price for the factor of production, there is no government interventions. Next, there is no technological changes. So what type of technological is already used, the same technology only will be existing in long run also. So these 9 assumptions we must be considered. So if you are considering the assumptions, we have to explain the marginal productivity theory. So before that, so according to the marginal productivity theory of distributions, the price or the reward for any factor of production is equal to the marginal productivity of that factor. In short, if you want to understand, each factor is rewarded according to the marginal productivity. So before that, some of the concept we have to understand. So the four concepts are there: marginal product, marginal physical product, and value of marginal product, and marginal revenue product. Already we have studied about the marginal cost and the marginal revenue and the so first the marginal product. So the marginal product of a factor of production means the addition made to the total product by employment of additional unit of that factor. The marginal product may be expressed as marginal product or marginal physical product or the value of marginal product and the marginal revenue product. So the marginal product mean when we are arranging the one more extra labor to producing the commodities, how the additional profit or how the additional product is created by the additional labor. Normally when we are arranging the 5 labor to produce the 5 unit of commodity, and when we are adding the one more labor with the 5 labors, so the last labor is producing some unit of product. So the product is produced by the last unit of the labor only is considered as a marginal product. Next, the marginal physical product. The marginal physical product of a factor is the increment in the total product obtained by the employment of an additional unit of the factor. So when we are arranging the last unit of factors, how the total product is increased or the amount of increment of product by the last unit of factor is called marginal physical product. For example, now when we are arranging the 5 labor, the 5 labors are producing the 10 units of product or the 10 pencils. And when we are arranging the one more labor, so the one more labor also will be increasing, producing the 2 pencils. So the marginal physical product is just 2 because already the 5 labors are producing the 10 pencils. So after additionally after adding the one more labor, he is producing 2 pencils. The 2 pencils may be considered as a marginal physical product. The marginal physical product is determined by the last unit of the labor. Next, value of marginal product. The value of marginal product is obtained by multiplying the marginal physical product of the factor by the price of the product. Suppose if the 5 pen, the 5 pen is 1 pen is 2 rupees and the 5 into 2 10 rupees. So when we are arranging the last unit, he is also producing the 2 unit of product. So now the 6 pen is there, then 6 into 2 12. So the value of marginal product is 12 rupees. Otherwise the value of marginal product is the price for the product, the multiplying the marginal physical product of the factor by the price of the product. Next, marginal revenue product. The marginal revenue product of a factor is the increment in the total revenue which is obtained by the employment of an additional unit of that factors. So when we are arranging the last unit of labor and he is also producing some unit of commodities. So when the last unit of the labors are producing the unit of the commodities, because of that how the income or the revenue is increased. The increased revenue only is called as a marginal revenue. When 5 labors are going to produce the 5 pence, then the total revenue is 10. So after that when we are arranging the one more labor and he is also producing the 1 pencils, now the revenue is 12 rupees. So the 12 rupees only is called as a marginal revenue, or the 2 rupees only is called as a marginal revenue of the product. Next is statement of the theory. So just we have to consider these 4 concepts. So we will come to the theory. So an employer employs a factor of production because it's productive. So normally the employer or the producers will arranging the factor of productions to produce any of the commodities, because it means the every factor of productions also have some of the productive power. If you want to arranging some of the labor must be having some of the productive power to doing or producing any of the work. So when they have the power, only the producers will be arranging. If the laborers are not having the productive power, he will never arranging that man to produce that commodity. So the price he wants to pay for the factors depends upon its productivity. Suppose if the persons can able to produce the 5 unit of pen, and because of that the producers will get more profit than the production cost, he will arranging or using the labor to produce that commodity. So the greater the productivity of a factor, the higher will be its reward. If the price of a factor of production is less than its marginal revenue product, the employer will use more of this factor because his profit will be increased. Normally when we are arranging the 5 units of labor, the producers will get more profits. And how much the producers can able to get the profit by using the factor of productions, he will get. When more of a factor is employed, its marginal revenue product diminishes. So normally the 5 labors are arranging to produce any of the commodities. Some profit will be increased. So because of that, the entrepreneurs are arranging the extra factors or the extra labor to produce the commodities. The productivity of the factor will be diminishing or reducing, but the employer will gain by using additional units of the factor until the marginal revenue product of the factor is equal to its price. But even though the producers will be arranging the factors or the labors, till the revenue and the marginal cost of production is come to the equal. So the employer's profit will be maximum at this point. So beyond the point, the marginal revenue product is less than the price of the factor. Hence, the employer will suffer loss when he uses more of its factor. So therefore, the conclusion is that the employer will so adjust the price of the factor of production so as to equalize the marginal revenue product of that factor. So normally when the producers are going to arranging some particular level of the labor, he will get some of the profit. And even one or two, after that 1 or 2 more labors are going to increase to produce, he will get some of the profit, but the profit may be decreased, but it will be higher than the marginal cost of the production. Again, if the producers are want to apply the labor or the factors, so the productivity will be diminishes and the marginal revenue also will be decreased, or it will be equal to the marginal cost. Then the producer or the entrepreneur will not get any of the gain. Then after the particular point, he will stop to arranging the factors of production. So the statement of the theory is the price of a factor of production depends upon its productivity. So as I told already, so the factor of productions will get their remunerations on the basis of their productivity. If the productivity of the factor of production is decreased or lost, so the factor of productions, the remunerations of the factor of productions also will be decreased. Next, the price of a factor is determined by the marginal revenue product of that factor. Marginal revenue product of that factor means if the factors can able to bring more revenue, on the basis of the revenue only the price of the factor will be determined. and not only that, the price of a factor also will be equal to the marginal revenue product of that factor. If you can produce 5 unit of the commodity, so the marginal revenue also will be equal to the productivity of the factor of productions. Next, under certain conditions, the price of factor will be equal to both average and marginal product of that factor. The price of the factor will be equal to the average and marginal product. Suppose if any of the persons are producing the 5 units only, the 5 units, on the basis of the 5 units, on the basis of the value of the 5 units only, the factors will be getting the price. Okay students, I think it's enough. So if you have any doubt, please ask me, and just you take the same topic as your study portions, the marginal productivity theory of distributions. It is very important. Questions may be, if just you study. If you have any doubt, ask me, I will tell later. Thank you.